Today I'll be talking about 4 Thermae Romae adaptations, the first anime, 2 live-action movies, and the new anime that just came out. I'd first heard about Thermae Romae when an anime blogger named Scamp was tripping all over himself to recommend it back in the day. It sounded really interesting, but I never had a convenient way to view it until everything recently came to Netflix. And let's start out with the first anime. It's really short, and it has this really cheap, hit-or-miss gag anime style. To quote a comment that I saw in a recent video of the Chatmochi ending sequence, legend says 80% of the budget of this show went to this ending. But despite its low production values, the comedic premise shines through. Lucius Modestus, a bathhouse architect from ancient Rome, accidentally time travels to modern Japan, where he marvels at Japan's bath culture and innovations, and culturally appropriates them back to ancient Rome. Here's where I might make a hot tub time machine joke, but according to a quick Google search, that's already been done, and I haven't even seen that movie anyway. So the first anime in a nutshell. It's funny, it leaves a strong impression on you, but at the same time it's also really short and really cheap, which leaves you hungry for more. That's why I'm going to do something that I rarely do. Acknowledge the existence of live-action movies. My general stance is that live-action anime adaptations are inherently cursed and should never be given the benefit of the doubt. But when the anime leaves you hanging, sometimes live-action movies are better than nothing. So the first movie, it sticks reasonably close to the original story, and when it goes off script, it's still actually pretty good, because the topic of bath culture is so prevalent across Japan that you can trust people other than the original creator to pad out the story without completely ruining it. Simply by virtue of its length, the movie covers a lot more ground than the original anime. It also has a high enough budget to bring in not only some well-known Japanese celebrities, but authentic, non-Japanese actors. This is ancient Rome after all. There are white and black people all over the place, and both of them are occasionally slaves, because while slavery wasn't always considered immoral, racial discrimination was. The movie also throws in a romance subplot that never made it into either anime, but apparently this was in the manga, so while it was kinda cheesy, I won't object to it. The second live-action movie is still kind of okay, but not as good as the first. Much of the original story was already covered in the first movie, so the second movie had to go off script a bit more often, and it kinda turned into a B-list celebrity circle jerk. Maybe that would pay off if you watch a lot of Japanese variety shows, but I wouldn't assume that any of you are hardcore masochists. The first anime and movie were released in 2012, and the manga ended its run in 2013, followed by the second movie being released in 2014. So you might think that would have been the end of Thermae Romae, but just this past month, Netflix got behind a new anime. Now, it's not exactly long at only 11 episodes, but compared to the original anime, it feels like a marathon. The original anime condenses the story down to its top comedic moments and little else. The new anime has a lot more exposition, character development, and other non-comedic moments woven in, so the comedic impact is a bit more spread out, though overall I would say it's equally effective, but with one exception. I feel like they neutered a lot of the slavery jokes. Until proven otherwise, I'll blame it on Netflix being woke. I'm also disappointed that the English dub voices didn't have Italian accents. I mean, what's the point of setting a show in ancient Rome if everyone's gonna sound like they're from Nebraska? At the end of each episode, there's an extra segment tacked on featuring the manga artist, Yamazaki Mari, as she travels around various hot springs in Japan. And by Japan, I mean only Gunma Prefecture. And by only Gunma Prefecture, I mean specifically 3 locations, most notably Kusatsu, which you can see in today's background video. In the center of town, which you see right now, they have a fence around the hot spring source called the Yubatake, and on this fence, they put plaques commemorating famous visitors to the town, like celebrities, politicians, and some random European doctors from the 1800s who came to study the therapeutic effects of hot springs. They'd actually given one of these plaques to Lucius based on his anime and live-action performances in Kusatsu. I was really looking forward to finding this plaque, but unfortunately it had been taken down by the time I visited. Anyway, I think the anime is great, but I'd attribute that at least partially to my own experiences with Japanese bath culture. If you've never taken a Japanese-style bath or a dip in the hot springs, you might find it less interesting. Or perhaps more. Final grade, double plus.